All right. Welcome to another episode of Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. I am your host. Now, let me go over the rules for the rule breakers. On Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr., we don't talk race relations. We don't talk politics. I don't give a fat rat's butt what the Democrats are doing, nor do I care what the Republicans are doing, nor do I care what the Democrats are doing. On Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., callers, you will have 2 minutes to call in and rip, rant, and kick some knowledge about all things NFL. And the number to call is 940-329-4110. Now, also on Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr., I am normally rocking the standard uniform, but until football season starts, I'll just be winging it. As you can see, I am rocking the Commander's jersey, augmented by, in fact, this is my Heineke jersey, and we'll talk a little bit more about that on the show. But when we actually get into the season, that's when we're going to be really kicking it off, and I'll have the standard uniform. But I have a big surprise this year because my standard uniform has also changed. So that is going to be exciting within itself, to get all that up and running. But we are here, and we're going to be talking as usual. Like I said, this is a caller-driven show where callers, you will always have 2 minutes to rip, rant, kick some knowledge about all things NFL. Now, remember, on Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., we give advice, but we do not give sound advice. No, we do not. We give advice. We don't give sound advice. Now, on our show, we are getting back to football because that's what we're doing. As football season starts, we're slowly starting to ease our way back in, getting our head right with ball. So, as I always say, man, I don't just get out of bed and wing this show. No. I have notes. I have a what's called a run sheet. So today's topic of discussion doesn't mean that we're locked into this topic. Now, we can vary a little bit because far be it for me to stop anybody while they're in a good rant, because we all love a good rant. Or you can rip. If you feel the need to just share some knowledge, then that's good too. But we're going to talk trade talks. And we're going to review the Hall of Fame game, which aired this last Thursday night. That was, and I'll share with, I've always shared how I feel about preseason games. I really don't care too much for them, but it's a necessary monster, I guess. Also, do owners speak the same language as the players? Do owners speak the same language? So now let's talk trade talks. Although I am decked out in my Commander gear, and I am a Redskin Commander football team fan, but this show is not designed to just where I'm just going to talk about my team. If you want to call in at 940-329-4110 and talk about your team, that's great, man. I welcome. I want to hear from my Vikings fans, Cowboys, Saints, Panthers, Packers. I mean, it's all good, man. Sports Therapy.
Who that?
Who that? Hey, Jay in Grand Prairie. Jay, I throwed out a couple of topics that I wanted to discuss tonight, but like I said, man, we're not locked into this topic. I just want to, because this is, for me, the subject is the current, these are the current conversations that everybody's talking about. Trade talks, review of the Hall of Fame game, and I know you watched it, and do owners speak the language of today's athletes? So now, first thing I want to ask you, Jay, did you watch the Hall of Fame game?
I did.
Your thoughts?
I mean, it ain't in preseason yet. So.
Jay, you starting to sound like me. But now, did you stick around and watch the entire game?
No.
I believe,
No.
I believe, Jay, the majority of people don't stick around and watch the preseason game. I think they want to see. Plus, you want to get back into watching football, cool. But once the hype that football is back, then you kind of settle and you realize, it's not a real game.
Right.
It's not a real game because what
I'm not
people
gonna hype myself up for something there's no count
it's
right
not,
now.
it doesn't count towards anything because what people don't realize that when you watch a preseason game and the team that's really scoring and really moving the ball and all that, that's usually a bad team and they really need to work on trying to get things together. They're using preseason as a way to better themselves, to better their team. But the teams who know that they have a pretty good team, they're gonna pretty much cut back on preseason, scale it back because they don't want to get anybody hurt. They're not gonna show anything,
Right.
So a lot of times people watch preseason. Oh man, we're getting killed. Oh, we ain't moving the ball. It's like, oh no. But I will say this: if you are the quarterback of the Chargers and you're the backup quarterback and you come out and you throw 2-3 interceptions in a preseason game, you just might get cut.
Yeah.
You
Ain't
might
good look.
get cut. So now, Jay, I know you're a card-carrying Who Dat fan, and I am a double, triple dip Redskin commanding football team. But the hot topic of this week has been trade talks. Now, I went on a rant last week about my boy Scary Terry. I wish we kind of get our stuff together and go ahead and pay him. And I know people saying, well, he's 30 years old, but the deal is, what is our plan B? If you don't have a plan B for a number one wide receiver, you got to pay that man. But I really want to talk about that man in Texas that played for the
It's a trip.
Jay, what are your views on that?
I'm careless. I was just staying the Cowboys.
And that's the feedback that I've been getting from a lot of listeners, and because sometimes I do have I'm on TikTok as well, so I read a lot of my TikTok responses and stuff. And I think there was an Eagle fan says, "I love Jerry Jones, and I like the way he's running his team. He's doing an outstanding job." But my point of it is, when a player says he does not want to be on the team anymore, is that a relationship that can be fixed?
I mean, I don't know. Just pay the man already and get on with it.
Or when a player says, because guys say, "Hey, I want to be traded." And a lot of times that's kind of talk that's negotiation talk, But when a guy comes out, and Michael Parson has a podcast, so he has a platform, so he can really, really, really reach a audience. Even when he's talking on that podcast, he's talking directly to Jerry and to the league. And when he's saying that he no longer want to be called in by the owner and having negotiation talks without his agent. Now, I don't know if that's a violation of the rules or if it's just bad business, but if I got an agent, that's what he gets paid to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And should the owner be calling the player in behind the agent's back? Because my understanding is they haven't even spoken with his agent, so they just want to just talk to the player behind the agent back and negotiate a deal. And Parson he's not an attorney, so sure he's gonna get taken. I wouldn't be negotiating without my agent.
Right.
No. And which brings me back to another topic is I don't know if Jerry falls under the what generation that he falls under. Is he considered a baby boomer? Is he part of the greatest generation? You know, that greatest generation. That's that generation that was World War II, and you know, that's that generation. That's why we call them the greatest generation. And then after them, of course, you know, we
Right.
had the baby boomers, and then I believe we had Gen X's, and then and I may be getting my generation a little bit mixed up here. But my point of it is, if Jerry is a greatest generation or a generation guy, can he does he speak the language of today's Gen Xers?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Because it reminded me of a cousin I had that once said, he said, hey, because he was a coach. And he told me, he says, man, it's time for me to retire because I don't speak the language anymore. Those were some powerful words. When he says, I don't speak the language anymore, Jay. So as an owner, as an older owner like Jerry, who's probably, man, mid 80s, and he's talking to Michael Parson, who's Michael might be on the early side of 25. What kind of conversation can they have, Jay?
The only conversation Michael want to have is where my money is. That's it.
Yes. But also, the reason I'm saying that because as an old schooler like Jerry, you probably can say something crazy like, hey, you know what, I'm paying you all this money and guys are getting hurt. I'm paying all that money. You could probably say that to maybe a not that you can't say it to a Gen X. I think you could probably get away with saying it to a baby boomer or a you know, someone that's not gonna internalize it the way probably a Gen X would. Because if you saying that, all of a sudden, I just think you do more damage to that relationship because now the player seems to think, well, you know what, I'm going out here, I'm busting my butt playing, and you worried about if I get hurt, you know, what are you paying me money, and now you throwing me under the bus saying, well, he only played 6 games. He only played 6 games last year.
Yeah.
Like seriously? And I think that was the number one reason why Micah says I no longer want to be a Cowboy. I think it come down to Jerry just don't speak the language anymore, man. He don't speak the language.
Yeah.
Jay, he don't speak the language anymore. He don't speak the language, Jay. So what happens when we don't speak the language anymore? Is it time for a change?
Yeah, but you know Jerry ain't going nowhere. So
Jay,
you can hold your breath and count 10 for all you want. It's not happening.
Jerry is not going anywhere. I'm sorry, but hey, he don't speak the language, and he's not going anywhere. Jay in Grand Prairie, let's get one big last. Who that?
Who that? Who that said they gonna beat them Saints?
Who that said they gonna beat them that Saints? All right, Jay, thanks for calling in.
All right.
Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr.
What's going on, brother?
It's my
What's happening,
homeboy
brother?
Glenn. What say ye?
What's happening with you, brother?
Hey, homeboy Glenn, let me say this to you, my man. Now I heard that the Steelers, y'all like sharks, man. I heard y'all been circling around, circling off the shore, man, trying to get our receiver, brother.
Hey, man, we got to do what we got to do, man. we got to do, hey, it's a cutthroat world in the NFL.
Man, I hear you.
It's cutthroat. We'll take whatever we can to get us a Super Bowl.
Man, y'all got y'all
It's
fins
McCool
up.
saying, yeah, it sure be nice if we could get that receiver from you guys. But
Homeboy,
I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
homeboy, y'all got y'all fins up, man. Y'all circling off the coast, man, trying to get our receiver, baby.
Hey,
But
we trying to do what we can, man. Hey, I tell you what, the way the NFL going now, man, I wouldn't be surprised what go on, man.
I know.
Anytime you hold a guy like Michael Parsons, you make him the sweat. Anytime you make a guy like him sweat to get a little money, and he's one of the top three, not five, top three defensive players in the NFL. Yeah, he right now. I'll take him over T.J. Watt and maybe Miles Garrett. I don't know, but I know I'd take him before I would Watch right now.
Man, I think if I had a choice between taking him right now and Miles Garrett, I think I'd take a young Michael Parsons. I think I'd take a young
I
Parsons,
would too, man.
you know. But
I would too, man.
and it's just like when I was talking to my other caller, I was saying, you know what? I had like three talking points I wanted to kind of hit on. One was trade talks, and that's what we're talking about now. Because, I don't know if it's illegal, immoral, or I don't know what the hell. But should an owner, like I said, I don't know if this is illegal. It's probably not. I don't know. Because Parson is saying that Jerry has been, and I know Jerry's been prone to do this, to just, call a guy in and just talk to him and just make a deal between him and the player without the agent. Man, like I said, I don't know, because first of all, whenever you go in as a player and you try to make a deal with the owner by yourself, you're going to come out on the losing end of that stick, brother.
You can't win.
Not at all. There's a reason you
That's
have
why they
an
have
agent.
agents.
There's a reason you have an agent, to negotiate a out clause in your contract and to put some things in that's going to benefit you. Hey, certain benchmarks, if I do this, I'm going to get an extra $1 million. If I complete this goal, I'm going to get an extra $2 million. If we go to the Super Bowl, I may get an extra $2 or $3 million. If I get all that, you Michael Parsons going in negotiating with Jerry by himself, yeah, come on, bro. You're going to get screwed every time.
He ain't going to win.
Not at all.
He's not going to win. No, he's not going to win going in there by himself. And he should know. He should know that. He should just let his agent handle that, because he's not going to win.
Not at all.
But I tell you what, though, that right there could mess around and turn into some of a disaster, because, like, I was listening to you talking to the other caller earlier. That affect other players want to come there and play there.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Or free agents. Who would want to come and play there? Knowing you got an owner like that, they're real controlling everything.
Well, it's just like the guy, the receiver that they got from you guys. Now, at the end of the year, he's got to go in and negotiate a contract with Jerry. Now, he's on the outside looking in like, okay, look. Because remember, the same thing was done with Dak. The same thing was done with C.D. Lamb. You're going to pay the guy, so why drag it out? Because the longer you go without signing them, the more money you have to pay them. I don't understand the logic in that.
It's true, man. It show you he in control, and he can do what he feel like he can do what he want to do. He got the money and the power, and he controlled it. He think he's step to his own beat.
Because I was talking.
But I tell you,
go ahead.
Now, I tell you what, though, he's gonna be in a rude awakening if they don't have Michael Parsons to open the season, which I think they will. Though they will get it done.
Well, only thing that makes me a little bit skeptical about that is the fact that it's not happening the same way in the past. Whereas with Dak and CD and those guys, even the linemen that they signed, you didn't have the animosity that you have now, because Jerry threw Micah under the bus in the public when he says, "Hey, he only played six. He only played 6 games last year." So as a player, when you hear your owner say, because players, man, you laying it out on the line, brother, and you hear the owner say, "Hey, he made all that money." Because I think he said Michael made $20-something million and was out 6 games. Like the guy can control whether he get hurt or not.
That's why players in the league should try to make as much as they can, because once when they through with you, they through with you.
They through. So I'm saying,
yes.
Can that relationship with the organization be repaired? Because when a player says, it's not, because some players will just throw this out here, "Hey, I want to be traded," and that's just negotiation talk. But when they say, "I no longer want to play for this team anymore," man, that sends a message that he just don't want to be a part of anything Dallas anymore. So I don't know, man.
I really think, yeah. I really think Boston didn't want to really be there too much last year after seeing how everything was going. I think the injury didn't help any, but he gonna play hard regardless.
Right.
But I really didn't think he was too interested last year, knowing his contract coming up, and he probably gonna have to go through something like this because he's watching C.D. Lamb and Dak Prescott and some of the other guys go through the same thing.
And he lost his.
You see what they did to Trey? You see what they did with Trey Diggs? They docked him $500 out of his contract, didn't they?
Yes. Supposedly he wasn't going through the rehab like he was supposed to or something. Yeah, it's a business though, man. And I'm not knocking the owners. I just know it's a business, and the owner's job is to get as much of your skills out of you for less money. I mean, that's the owner's point of view. The player's point of view is to get as much money as they can for the skill that they have, because they're not going to always have that skill forever. So it's a give take. But I'm like, I believe that players should get as much as they are entitled to get. And because you never know, when you step foot out on that field, it could be your last.
It could be your last. And every day is like a last game to them players, because everybody competing, somebody trying to take your position every day.
Yep. And you're not guaranteed that when you get done playing football, you're gonna live a nice, soft life, because when we factor into the injuries, CTE, a lot of those guys, man, you don't really live just a real painless games. I mean, so I'm for guys getting as much. And I don't believe today's players are going to play as long as those guys in the past. I don't see those guys playing no more than maybe 5-10 years at the most and walking away.
At the most. That's the same thing I said, because the fact they're not going to take a chance. They know they ain't going to get paid anyway. Somebody always coming in trying to get their position. Mm-hmm. And they going to take a chance and mess their career up. Knowing that they ain't getting the right type of money.
Because
like y'all did on the receiver. They should have went on paid that guy. That guy that went through 5 or 6 different quarterbacks in that organization and had 1,000-yard receiver every year. And now y'all get a good quarterback. Now you don't want to pay him.
I know, and see, and that's why, if you could see me today, homeboy Glenn, I'm rocking my Commander jersey, but it's Heineke. And I'm not, even though man, look, I love Heineke, but we had such bad quarterback play to where we didn't even know what good quarterback play looked like. So we were all like, oh man, Heineke, because we didn't have, it's been a while since we had a good quarterback. So everybody like, man, even though Heineke was probably at the most, and and I'm sure I'm going to make some of my Redskin Commander family a little bit mad at me, but he was probably a career backup. He's exciting. He's gonna give you all he got. But we didn't know what a good quarterback looked like. And now all of a sudden, JD is on the scene. But here's my problem with that: is if you're gonna play the game with Scary Terry, what's your backup plan, homeboy Glenn? What's our backup plan? It's easy to say.
They probably don't have one.
We don't have one. What's your backup plan for a number one receiver? Let me rephrase it, brother. We don't have one.
They don't have one. No
No,
more Debo Samuel.
but Debo's not a number one. He can't stretch the field. He don't have breakaway.
No, and
He don't have breakaway speed. He's just a guy you don't want to come and hit. You know, but
he,
he,
he's just a good percentage route runner, strong. Feel like a running back.
yes, but he just don't have that. Like you said, he don't have the breakaway speed anymore. But my point of it is because there's people saying, well, no, he's gonna be 30. We don't need to pay him that money. But here's my issue. What is your plan B? Because you're not guaranteed. No one promise you. No one makes a promise that says, hey, you guys got close last year. This year you're gonna get even closer. No. We may never, ever, ever get close to winning a Super Bowl or getting close to playing in the Super Bowl. You're not guaranteed. So when you get that opportunity, man, you got to make the best of it, homeboy.
You do. Because the league getting harder and harder to win the Super Bowl, whether people believe it or not, because so much talent coming in each and every year.
True.
With the talent they bringing in. Man, I tell you what, I know it's been 30 or 40 years ago, but Dan Marino is a prime example.
Yes.
When he went to the Super Bowl after his first and second year in the league, and he never did make it back no more.
And he thought he was going to be going every year. he thought, man, this thing
and
called
a lot more people thought he was going to be going.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why sometimes I had that conversation with one of my other homeboys about the Ravens when I say, look, man, you only get a certain amount of time, a certain amount of years. Once you hit your peak, you only get 3 to 4 years to get it done, i.e. the 49ers, the Ravens, the Bills, you don't. And so,
it's true. That's true, man, because I tell you, man, this year, I think it's going to be tough this year, even with Kansas City, to try to get back in there.
Well, and I hate to say it, I think Kansas City is on the decline. I think they're going to always be a team winning 8, 9 games, a team that you're going to always want to see. But now that I think that Super Bowl run with them may be gone because, and I'm not wishing I'm not wishing anything bad on the Chiefs, but that's just the nature, that's the cycle of the game.
Yeah, let they own them. They got good general managers, and they don't want to go and pull off a crazy trade to make somebody make some send them a trade to make them better. Because, man, I tell you, right now I just don't understand how, like you said, a guy like Michael Parsons and McClure, they should already be signed.
Man.
It should already be signed. It shouldn't even be no question that. They should already be signed.
And then, you got people saying, well, you know what, he's not a top 5 receiver like Justin Jefferson. Look who been throwing to the man for his career. He never had a top tier quarterback.
That man, they had a good quarterback that's been in the league.
No. He's not, and always had to change his offensive coordinator. He's had maybe 3, 4 offensive coordinators. It's like, come on, man, seriously. And
every year.
And one of the things that was probably working against Scary Terry is that he wasn't a diva type, or he's not a diva type wide receiver. He wasn't one of those that went back and said, "Throw me the ball, throw me the ball." He didn't act a nut, which means, hey. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. But yeah, so one of the questions I wanted to ask is, Jerry Jones is probably on the other side of 85, and Michael Parsons is probably just getting past 25, 26. So my question was, do today's owners because see, I think Jerry would be, I don't know if he would be a baby boomer or would he be a greatest generation. All depends on, Jerry might fall into that category as the greatest generation. That's that group that was born like right before 1944, 42, 44, with the World War II and all that. Now, because now with the baby boomers, we're that generation that was born right after World War II to 1960, I believe 66, 60, yeah, somewhere along there. And then, of course, you had the Generation X, and then the this generation here. Hell, sometimes I don't even know what we call them because they changed their name here, whatever. But I know that they're the X's. So I'm saying, can Jerry even relate to Michael Parsons?
I, nope, nope,
No,
nope, no,
no,
nope,
no.
nope. Cause things different, man. Jerry Jones. You look at Jerry Jones' age, and you look at Michael Parsons' age. It's a whole. I mean, Jerry Jones stuck in his ways, and believe it or not, was the person one. Michael Parsons stuck in his ways,
Yes.
and ain't neither one of them gonna budge.
No.
But if Dallas decides to trade, which I don't think they will, but it just what you think they gonna get out of it?
Well, now here's the situation. If it had been the end of the year when we getting ready to go into the draft, oh, they could get a minimum of probably 2 draft picks and probably try to fleece you for a little bit more. But when you have a player that says, I don't want to play for you no more, I don't want to play, then all of a sudden the Cowboys are not in they're not in a position to really get a whole hell of a lot. They still get a first round draft pick, but also if you Michael Parsons and if you're trying to force your way out, you're not going to get 40 whatever $1 million a year either, because teams know you want out. So therefore, they can kind of get you a little bit cheaper than they're not gonna set the market and paying you. You're gonna probably get right about what the top guys are getting that play your position. So that's kind of how that situation go.
Yeah, I was reading a little article, which it don't mean nothing, but they were saying Pittsburgh have 12 draft picks, in the draft this year,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a they could sweeten the they could sweeten a little deal with him, give up the draft picks and probably
Oh
give
yeah,
up a wide receiver
yeah,
like a Calvin Austin or somebody like
yeah.
that.
But like I said, at the end of the day, he can't go in with a position of strength like he would if it was the end of the year, because he's trying to force his way out. Because if he
Right.
decided that I'm not gonna play no more for the Cowboys at all, he sits out. They're gonna fine him, and he'll have to pay. And then every team can sit around like, okay, yeah, we can get him. So now, so that in itself, it's a tricky situation, man.
Sure is. It's tough. Like it want him in a spot right now,
Oh yeah,
but they gonna give him his money though.
I, I
I think they gonna give him his
but
money.
but the only thing that gets me that is when a player says, I don't want to play for this team anymore. I don't want to be ridiculed by the owner in public. I don't want to be called to the owner's office and where he's trying to negotiate with me without my agent. I don't know, homeboy Glenn. Can that relationship can it be fixed?
It's tough. Things different now. Like I said, things different than what 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys now, they not bagging down like they used to.
Right.
Back in the day, they didn't have no
and, and,
choice.
and that's why I'm saying, when it comes to can Jerry speak the language of the day's young football guys, man? Because
They out of touch.
he's out of touch. Well, hey, homeboy, I got another caller trying to get in, man. Let me get my other call in here. Appreciate you calling, homeboy.
All right, still, brother.
All right, man. Sports therapy. Sports therapy.
FH Jr. It's Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire, baby. We gotta talk. We gotta talk, baby.
Hey, my boy, I am ready for you. So you go ahead and do your thing.
All right, so I was hearing you talk to Glenn about Scary Terry not being a vocal receiver, which is crazy because think about this. A lot of people may think Terry McLaurin is too much of a team player.
Right.
So now people not taking him seriously when he go into that negotiation.
Yes.
And you know, one thing I don't like in life in general, don't blow smoke up my ass. Then when it's time to cut the check, nobody want to cut the check.
Exactly.
Because if you don't have that man there, that sophomore regression finna be crazy.
Man.
That is like you have no chance of stretching the field because Debo, ain't his old self, and he's not much of a burner like Scary Terry. That's not gonna work, bro.
Preach
Y'all
on.
better get that man paid.
Preach on, brother. Preach
with
on.
Michael Parsons.
Amen.
Michael Parsons, I believe, is the one player, I think in the last 20-something years that has pulled Jerry Jones' whole card. Isn't this the first dude to actually request a trade? Emmett held, players hold out, but this man has legitimately said he does not want to play for the America's team no more. And we already know the number. This man has balled out his 4 years in the league, been to the Pro Bowl every year, All-Pro twice. He had double-digit sacks this year, even though he missed 5 games. But we talked about this over a year ago. We said between Dak, CD, and Micah, we said one of them is going to be the odd man out. And it just happened to be the best of the three. Because that first game of the season, when the Eagles is hanging that banner, if number 11 ain't out there, it's belt to ass. It's going to be belt to ass that Thursday night. Oh, no. Yeah, without Scary Terry or Michael Parsons in that division, Eagles going back to the Super Bowl, that's a cakewalk, dude. Y'all just gave the Eagles another cakewalk.
Man, that's an old saying, bro.
Hey, that's it for me.
Bro, I can't argue with you because I agree. But let me ask you this question, man. I was talking to my other callers, and I said, "Hey, look, man, is Jerry got to the point where he don't speak the language?" Because you said something, brother, and I'm gonna come back. When you said he pulled Jerry's whole card, because I'm saying it because my generation, now Emmett is part of my generation. And he might be crossing into my generation. We not going to stand up to the balls like that and say, you know what I'm saying? But these exes, this new generation, bro. First of all, you can't call them out in the public and publicly shame them, which is what Jerry did. And
exactly
because this generation, bro, they don't accept that type of verbiage. And I'm asking, can that relationship be repaired? I don't think so.
Hey, the only thing that would have repaired that relationship is $42 million a year.
I don't think $42 million a year will repair that relationship.
I don't think even if they offered Michael what he wanted, that's a bad atmosphere to just go back into. You know what I'm saying? It's like you mad your girl don't be cooking for you no more. Then you leave, and then she start cooking when you, and then you come. Yeah, it's ugly. And then what do we all say? We said trades and draft picks are more valuable before the draft.
Yep.
Now, pretty much rosters are set, guys are signed. Draft picks are before the draft. You could have got 3, 4 first-round picks for Michael Parsons.
Yes.
Especially him at 25, 26. Hell yeah. And teams had the cap room. Hell, y'all had the damn cap room.
Yep.
But now, I mean, this is a needy effort. Jerry Jones looks like the type of guy to be like, look, you already guaranteed this $24 million. You can sit on the bench all you want to. I'm going to pay you this bread, and next year you can tear your ass. Or, like, I just don't know how this is gonna go because that first game of the season is a few weeks away, and they're at a standstill negotiation. I mean, Micah over here like, man, I don't want to hear the talking, and Jerry like, look, Negro, you ain't worth the bread.
And
Which is funny that Jerry said he didn't want to pay because what about injury down the road? But you literally gave a quarterback $60 million a year, and he's always injured. That's hilarious to me. That's just funny to me.
and that's my point when I say, do Jerry speak the language of today's players as an owner? Because yeah, you could go. I remember when Big Larry Allen was hurt and checked himself out the game, and Jerry came down there, and Michael was and Larry was riding the exercise bike, and Jerry came in and whispered something in his ear, and he toughened it up and went back out there and played. But I'm saying today's players, they different, man. They function different. They process different. Even though Jerry,
Yeah, because it's more business. It's more business minded now because my generation, we saw y'all generation, man. Y'all after it was all said and done, y'all was just beat up and broke.
and
So we
see,
was like, man, what the hell? Y'all gave everything to this game.
and see,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
that's why I'm glad I'm talking to you about this, because you that generation. I'm saying it is more of a business because your generation wants a piece of the pie. In other words, hey, if we going down, we all gonna go down. It ain't gonna be one of them situations where I give all I got, and then when it's all said and done, bro, I'm broke up. I can't enjoy this money because it won't surprise me if he doesn't do like Aaron Donald. Walk away in about 5. When he's played about 10 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it's because now we see the data. We saw your generation, after y'all got done and guys fell in bankruptcy and guys ain't got bread, and we done seen y'all CPAs and different accountants and lawyers take y'all money, and now,
Yep.
especially with NIL,
Yep.
from a younger age, these athletes are being taught the business.
Yep.
Because before it was, hey, shut up and dribble. Hey, look, I'm your agent, I'm your lawyer, I'm your CPA.
Yep.
You just go out there and play to the best of your ability, and I'll take care of everything else. And we realized that was a trick bag, especially for us black athletes, because how do we always end up broke, and y'all end up having all the bread? So now, this is what we gonna do. You know what I mean? It's gonna be different, but because now we see the numbers in real time and we counting these figures. And if you think I'm lying, look how much the NFL made.
I agree with you.
Once Taylor Swift stepped out. Once Taylor Swift stepped out, the NFL made so much money they increased the salary cap.
Oh, I agree.
Like,
I totally agree with you.
So now you can't get mad at these players for trying to understand the business, especially in the NFL. These contracts not guaranteed, bro. If you are not on the active roster, people look at NFL contracts and think, oh my God. No, you get paid that money if you are healthy and on the active roster all 17 games every year of that contract. Like, that is the only way you getting all them paychecks.
And somewhere along the line, they can still cut you. They can still cut you. Only thing you get is
the NFL.
Unless you get it guaranteed. Unless you get it guaranteed, they can always come back and cut you.
Come on, dude. Come on, man. Come on, man.
So
and now, I mean, spoken to y'all, man, and we just taking what we learned from y'all and applying it in real time.
So that's why I think the relationship between Jerry and Micah is more to the point to where it cannot be fixed. Now, for example, I actually believe that Scary Terry is going to be in a uniform. I think this conversation between DQ and Terry, I think they're going to pay him because at the end of the day, what's our plan B? We don't have a receiver that can stretch the field. Noah Brown is coming off an injury. We got rid of Brown. So we don't really have a receiver that can stretch the field. And if we're gonna go for it, like I tell people, you're not promised that you're gonna get this close every year. Just because we got one victory away from the Super Bowl, you're not guaranteed that you'll be back even in the playoff. Things happen. So when you know this is your shot, man, you got to shoot your shot. So to be playing around, playing budget games, I don't understand it. But I think that relationship is more repairable because Scary Terry did not come out and say, I don't want to play for this organization no more, and I don't want the owner to be calling me out in the public. I don't want the owner to be trying to negotiate with me without my agent. It's like I just don't think it can be.
I agree. I agree. Y'all are way more repairable with Scary Terry because of the way both of you have handled it. Because I mean, just flat out, Jerry Jones has really.
You still there? All right, until we can get my man back, let me go into a commercial. All right, now, if you are just driving by and you say, what the heck is this? This is Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. Well, callers will have 2 minutes to rip, rant, and kick some knowledge about all things NFL. The number to call is always 940-329-4110. And Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., we come to you every Sunday night from 7 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. That's Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. B-Dog, you still there? All right. Well, I guess the show got a little bit too exciting for my man, Brandon. That's what happened with Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. Sometimes, man, it gets so emotional. I guess talking about the Cowboys and Micah and Jerry and the greatest generation on top of trade talks and do owners speak the language, man, I guess that can get too emotional. No, actually, I think we're having some network difficulties, and I'm sure if let me see, can I bring him back up here? I'm gonna see, can I bring him back up? Sports Therapy.
Yo, F.A.
All right, I got
What's
you
up,
back.
baby?
All right, here we go.
Yes, sir.
I thought the
But
show.
yeah, man,
Go ahead.
When I was saying, y'all with Scary Terry, man, it's just to the fact where that relationship is mendable, and I pray y'all mend it, because if you don't, that sophomore slump is gonna get ugly. But your owner isn't running the show like a plantation. Whereas Jerry Jones, we all know my way or the highway.
Yes.
And it's well, at this point, we knew Jerry Jones was gonna get to this point one day. One of your players was gonna rebel, man, and we'll see how this goes, man. Because if you offer him what he wants and he says no, you gotta trade him.
Right. Well, and that's all because the reason I say this, man, is that Jerry shot the wheels from under his best player who came in saying, hey, I'm going to be a leader for this team this year. Even though they're negotiating, but I'm coming for my team. I'm coming to training camp because I need to start showing that I am the leader, because they got rid of my boys not there anymore. So now that leadership falls on me. So Jerry practically shot his wheels off from being a leader when he castrated him in front of the whole public. When he says, hey, I paid him X amount of millions of dollars, and he was hurt last year. He missed 6 games. So why would you do that? And that's why I don't think the relationship can be repaired, bro. And I don't want people to think I'm just Redskin Commander hating, because it's just what I see.
I mean, man, you ain't hating, man. You just you speaking the real. You not hating by nothing.
Because if I were truly hating, I would be happy that he wouldn't play. That's one team I want to worry about in our division. I just know, is it a language barrier as far as the generations? Because like you said, Emmett was more of my generation. Emmett was more part of a baby boomer where, at the end of the day, the boss can say something crazy. At the end of the day, you're gonna ignore him because that check is coming in. But with today's generation, with the G's, whatever the heck they get, because we got so many different labels that we call them, but they process things different. They value things different, and like you said, they see this as I am part owner to where we trying to go. In other words, I have a partnership. I have invested a partnership in the direction that we're trying to go. So when Michael Parsons sees himself as an invested piece of the puzzle, and then Jerry comes out and throw him under the bus, I don't know, bro. I just don't know. I don't know, Brandon.
You, FH.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, man, it's God, this is ugly, and the fact that this is in the NFC East and the Eagles just won the championship just makes this all so much better. But man, this is nasty work, man. This is nasty work.
Should Jerry get out the way and let Steven, because you notice Michael Parsons is not even speaking to Jerry. When he said he made it clear, and whatever the process is for saying I want to be traded, he negotiated with Steven, not Jerry.
Hey man, he said, let me talk to the dude who's gonna be here when I'm here.
Basically. So he basically called Jerry an old man and a fool. In the words of...
Hey, what they say on the board? Hey, you just mad because your ass is old.
So that was my point, man, is because, I had a cousin, man. He was coaching basketball, man, and one day he said, and he had been coaching for over 30 years, man. He just told me, hey, bro, I went put in my retirement papers. I said, why, man? He said, man, I don't speak the language no more. Those were powerful words, because there will come a day, man, when we don't speak the language. And I think that's where Jerry may be. That's where I think he's at. Jerry, you don't speak the language no more.
Look, it comes a time where now, Jerry is not used to... He's used to when he say jump, they say how high.
Yep.
Man, we just gonna have to monitor this, man.
I know. But like I said, now let me say this, man, because I got to look around and make sure I'm not being monitored, or is anybody gonna know that what I'm about to say? So I'm gonna whisper this in the mic. I think DQ is laying the foundation to steal Micah.
Bruh, y'all gonna have to sign him when he's an unrestricted free agent, bruh. Y'all is not finna trade and bring this man. I'm not finna trade this man in the division, bruh.
I think Jerry may have burnt the bridge to the point to where Michael might opt to sit out.
He will. This is gonna be. He ain't moving.
I think he might sit out and podcast. I think he can make just as much money sitting on podcasting, because his rates would be high. But
to be honest, he'd be the most famous dude.
Yes.
Like, bro, you gonna be known as the dude who stood up to Jerry Jones,
Stood up to
dang, bro, like you really looked at Jerry Jones dead in his face and told him no. Like,
because I just think
I don't know who's done it.
I think when DQ left the Cowboys, I just think something inside Micah broke. And I just think deep down inside, only thing that could make him feel wanted, that he really wanted to stay a Cowboy, was Jerry to show him that he really wanted him. And if they had quickly signed him, I think that probably would have took away all that feeling of when DQ left. And like I say, brother, I just don't think that relationship can be repaired, man. I just don't. I don't. I think it's something we just got to monitor. But hey, it is time to wrap it and cap it, man. Let's you get some words in for what you do, my man.
Yes, sir. This is Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire. First game of the season, Sunday night football, Ravens versus Bills. Hey, man, Josh Allen, you gonna pay with yo.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right. This has been another episode of Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. But keep in mind, this is just preseason. We're just getting out here right back with ball, easing everybody back to this world called NFL football watching. So until then, let's have good thoughts. We'll see you next Sunday night. Goodbye, everybody.